Welcome back to my channel. Let's get started and find out what happens next. Gang UK wakes up and finds Yeo-ri asleep on the sofa after staying beside him throughout the night, quietly watching over her. He remembers how worried she had been. When Yeo-ri suddenly opens her eyes, Gang UK becomes embarrassed and quickly steps outside. A little later, Gang UK happily realizes that the ghostly visions have finally disappeared. Excited, he tells Yeo-ri that everything seems to be back to normal. Yeo-ri smiles and congratulates him, but then gently suggests that it may be better for them to keep some distance for a while. She believes it is the safest decision for both of them, even though neither of them truly wants to say goodbye. They arrive at the very same museum where Yeo-ri and Min-hwan are attending the exhibition. The moment Gang UK and Yeo-ri unexpectedly see each other, both are caught by surprise. Yeo-ri quietly acts as though they have never met, but the silence between them makes it clear that neither of them has forgotten the bond they share. Just as everyone gathers to unveil an important historical letter, something completely unexpected happens. The protective glass surrounding the display suddenly develops mysterious cracks, leaving everyone in the room shocked and wondering what could have caused it. The strange event at the museum leaves everyone completely confused. Just as the exhibition is about to end, the moon suddenly turns a deep shade of red, and the protective glass unexpectedly develops several cracks. Yeo-ri immediately senses that this is no ordinary incident. She believes a supernatural presence may be connected to everything that has happened. After the exhibition comes to an end, visitors gradually leave the museum. However, Gang UK chooses to stay behind because he wants to spend a little more time with Yeo-ri. Instead of telling her the real reason, he makes up an excuse. He says that even after leaving the hospital, he occasionally experiences unusual ghostly visions and cannot understand why they keep happening. Yeo-ri quickly notices that something doesn't seem right. To test him, she asks a simple question: if you can really see ghosts. She says, then tell me what the spirit standing in this room looks like. Trying not to reveal the truth, Gang UK glances around and notices a painting of a woman wearing a hanbok. He confidently describes the woman as the spirit. Yeo-ri smiles and gently tells him that he is mistaken. She explains that the spirit beside them is not a woman at all, but a man. Hearing that, Gang UK becomes nervous and quietly wonders whether there really is someone standing beside him. After the awkward moment, Gang UK becomes serious and shares a new idea. He suggests that instead of working separately, they should become partners. Since Yeo-ri can communicate with spirits and Gang UK investigates mysterious cases, he believes they could solve many difficult mysteries together. Before Yeo-ri has the chance to respond, Min-hwan suddenly arrives, bringing their conversation to an unexpected end. Gang UK comes across surprising news online. Several articles begin suggesting that Min-hwan and Yeo-ri are growing closer. After reading the reports, Gang UK quietly feels disappointed and starts wondering if Yeo-ri has become distant because of Min-hwan. At the same time, Yeo-ri visits her grandmother and learns that she was the one who spoke with the reporters. Soon afterwards, Hari visits Yeo-ri and questions her about spending time with Min-hwan, rather than continuing the conversation. Yeo-ri calmly asks Hari to leave so they can both avoid further misunderstanding. Later that evening, another misunderstanding begins. While driving past a restaurant, Yeo-ri notices one of Gang UK's co-workers holding his hand for a brief moment. Without knowing the full situation, she mistakenly assumes they are very close. Although she quietly leaves without saying anything, it is clear that the misunderstanding leaves her feeling disappointed. After returning home, Yeo-ri continues helping spirits searching for peace. One spirit guides her toward a long unsolved mystery involving a young woman. Believing an important person connected to the case may return to the location, Yeo-ri quietly heads there and secretly contacts Gang UK for assistance. As expected, the suspect eventually returns, hoping to remove the remaining clues. Yeo-ri calmly confronts the situation, and a tense confrontation soon follows. At first, she manages to stay in control, but the situation quickly becomes more dangerous when the suspect reveals a dangerous object. Just when Yeo-ri begins to struggle, Gang UK arrives at the right moment. Without hesitation, he steps in to help protect her. Working together, they successfully bring the suspect under control. Shortly afterwards, the authorities and emergency responders arrive and safely take over the situation. Once everything has settled down, Yeori quietly begins walking away, but Gang UK follows her. He admits that he has been working late every night because he hoped she might call whenever she needed someone to help. Surprised by his honesty, Yeori asks why he would go to such lengths when these investigations are not even part of his usual responsibilities. Gang UK almost tells her how important she is to him, but he stops himself before saying too much. Even without hearing the full sentence, Yeori understands what he truly means, leaving both of them feeling quietly embarrassed. The two finally clear up the misunderstandings that had been keeping them apart. Gang UK learns that the rumors about Yeori's future are completely untrue, while Yeori discovers that the woman she saw with Gang UK is simply one of his co-workers. With the truth finally revealed, the distance between them slowly begins to disappear. Just when it seems their conversation has ended, Yeori suddenly stops her car, turns around, and walks back to Gang UK. Looking directly at him, she quietly says, "You told me you're investigating long unsolved cases. Then I have one for you. A mystery that has remained unanswered for more than 300 years. Yeori and Gangwook begin investigating a brand new case, but they soon discover that finding the truth may be more difficult than they expected. Every clue leads them in a new direction, yet Yeori remains determined to keep searching. Gangwook continues supporting her, believing that the truth always finds a way to come to light. As the investigation continues, Yeori and Gangwook grow even closer. They follow separate leads, encourage each other through every challenge, and their teamwork becomes stronger with every step. Their growing trust adds another heartfelt layer to the story. At the same time, Yeori's grandmother warmly expresses her support for Min Hwan. She believes he would always care for Yeori, leading the family to wonder what the future might hold for them. Meanwhile, Min Hwan returns from his business trip with a thoughtful gift for Yeori. He gives her a pair of gloves, explaining that they reminded him of her. His kind gesture leaves Yeori genuinely touched and hints that their bond may be growing stronger. Later, a family gathering takes an unexpected turn as everyone begins congratulating Yeori and Min Hwan. While the atmosphere is cheerful, Gangwook quietly watches from the side, finding it difficult to hide his emotions. On a tense note concludes with a surprising development. Yeori suddenly stops responding to Gangwook's calls, leaving him concerned. After finally meeting her, he is surprised when Yeori shares news suggesting that she may soon become engaged to Min Hwan. The unexpected revelation leaves Gangwook speechless and raises one important question. Now the biggest question is, will Gang UK fight for the person he loves, or will he choose to walk away? The final scene leaves us with this emotional mystery and builds even more excitement for the next episode. Now, all we can do is wait and see what decision he makes.